Hey everyone, it's Matt from MovingLetters.ai. Super excited for part 2 to this series with my good friends Mark and Tiam. By the way, check us out, MovingLetters.ai, how we can elevate your direct mail campaigns. Let's go, Mark.
You went through a growth period and like an exponential growth period in the last year,
Yes.
expansion. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm a moving company. I go,
Yeah.
oh man, I want to be just like TM. I ran into a couple of those guys, I think, in Scottsdale when I saw you last. And they go, I really want to expand, right? I want to have multiple locations. A lot of times they just want one or two, but they really want 10, 20 locations. They want to have that expansion like yourself. What stages did you have to go through? I mean, you have your central branch.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just copy and paste it without being super organized. What kind of steps did you take to make sure that, okay, we're ready to go, we're ready to franchise? And then was it just going to like a trade show and trying to find, or did you have to like search the right franchise branding people, like someone to help you expand? What happened in that situation?
Yes, thank you. So we had to work to create the franchise concept. We had to do a lot prior to being ready to sell franchises. So I know that, it looks like we had a big growth in the last year because the last year has all been about selling franchises, onboarding them, and getting them started. But prior to that, when COVID hit and when we expanded in my Toronto location from 15 to 33 trucks, and we had lots of growing pains, like we were getting, and it was new to me because I ran a moving company for several years, and I was always getting 5-star reviews. If a negative review hit our page, it was the end of the world. And when we were going from 15 to 33 trucks over COVID period, there was lots of growing pains. We were getting bad reviews, we were getting damages, we were getting angry customers. And this was new to us because we've always been providing great service. So then we realized we need a training program. If we're going to hire at this speed, we need to put them through training so that when they go out there, they're not damaging, they're not ruining their reputation, and they're not coming back with discounted jobs and pointless jobs. So we hired a company called Process Mavens. I've mentioned them several times everywhere. They're phenomenal. They were the ones that extracted everything from our managers. They sat with us for maybe 5 to 6 months. They went through every single department, every single role, every single responsibility, and they extracted that step by step with recorded videos, content, screenshots, and it's a quiz style training program. It's on Trainual. So that's what we did. We built a training program, and it took maybe a year to complete that and get it up and running. And that's when we were kind of ready to hire more movers. And we knew if we hired an operations or a sales agent or a sales manager or this, now at least we have the right programs to train them. And I had a friend.
Company, sorry to cut you off. Did that company, when they came in to work with you, they helped build your SOPs for each division? Like, did they really come in to map out because you said you sat down with all the managers, all the salespeople. So that company really came in to help you map out every position, line up exactly how to basically run each department, and then say, okay, we're going to now take Trainual and put a training package together for you guys as well for your drivers. So they really helped build that whole process. Just to clarify, I just want to make sure everybody understands. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they really did everything, and they were recommended by Trainual. That's how I initially found them. So that platform is the platform they use, and they know how to do it well. So they extracted everything, they put it on Trainual, and and at that time, that was the time where we were growing. So I went ahead and got a bigger warehouse, like a 22,000 square feet warehouse, and a gentleman named Caden. He had initially come from British Columbia. He lived in Victoria Island, and he came to Ontario. He started working for us. He was a phenomenal guy. I really liked him from the beginning. So I brought him into the office, and he helped me open that location, the new 22,000 square feet location. We put about like 300 pods in there, and he just did such a good job of creating this this location really well. He just held it all together, and I had a lot of trust in him. And after a while, he wanted to go back to Vancouver. So he said, TM, let's just go back to Vancouver and open a location. I was like, all right, now we have a training program. It's much easier. Let's go do it. So that was the first step to our growth. And we went to the other side of Canada. We opened that location. First year, I think we made about $2.6 million. And we went ahead and did that 4 more times in Canada: Edmonton, Hamilton, Burnaby. And we realized it works. It works all over Canada. We had the centralized call center, so we were booking jobs like crazy. They were out there doing the moves really well, and everything. The whole picture just came together. We got trucks wrapped. It just all made sense. So that's when I was also working with Louis Massaro privately, and I was trying to kind of figure out the next 5 years and reverse engineer that. And we realized that I wanted to go about the franchising concept. That's the legal way of growing the brand more and making more money, and also helping people and changing their lives and giving them a good business. So all that made me realize that was the path I wanted to go. And then we worked with a company called iFranchising Group. Phenomenal company. I worked with them for about 8 months. They helped me build the concept of moving franchise. So how do we want to charge? How do we want to build territories? What is the concept? We're going to include sales, or we're not going to include sales. So we went through all that, and they built an FDD for us, and they built the concept of franchise, moving franchise. Then we worked with lawyers for about 4 months in Canada. We worked with lawyers about 4 or 5 months in US. So, when we say we've been selling for the last year, it took 2 to 3 years just to prepare everything. We were kind of winding up everything. And then the last year, thank God, it's finally showing itself, all the work that we had to put in, and, obviously get no immediate results and wait for this concept to work. So in the last year, it's shown itself, but it took a lot more than 1 year.
Do you, and thanks for explaining that. Because, sometimes people think, oh, it's so easy. I'm just going to go to like some franchise and reach out to them and away we go, right? And it's a process. You can hear it. It took over 2 years just to get it going. And you really have to have that goal mindset, I think, is really key. And think ahead of not just 1 week, but like 3-4 years. What's the goal and the plan? Yeah. You have now all these locations. I always try and wrap my head around, okay, well, because you have all these locations, are they all working with each other? Because I would think, okay, if I'm in Vancouver, I'm going to Toronto, I can work with the Let's Get Moving team in Toronto and Vancouver. Like, do you guys offer that type of long distance service, or do you really try and keep to the model going, guys, you know what? It's 5-ton trucks. This is the breakdown here. You get a tailgate or a ramp. We're keeping it to local. We're not going cross country. It's just not worth it. Where do you guys sit on that scale?
Great question. And honestly, we do not do long distance moves that much. If a customer is willing to pay for us to drive there and pay each hour, pay the fuel, pay for us to drive back empty, those are the only moves we touch. 95% of our moves are local. We drive 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 30 minutes back to the office. That's what we focus on. All of our marketing is based on local moving, and the way we advertise, where we advertise, are all based on local moving service. So but there are cases where somebody's looking to move from, let's say, Vancouver to Abbotsford, and they don't write long distance moving. They will definitely write moving. Sometimes they'll just type in moving companies. So there's only so much we can control online, but as much as we can, we make sure to get local moving leads and deal with local moving jobs.
Does your head office have some sort of, because now everybody has to have the ELD readers in their trucks, right? So you really have a stronger tracking system. Is there a central system in the head office in Ontario that tracks all the trucks across Canada so that you guys can, keep track of every truck that is ran? And or is it only based on like per franchise, and you guys help set that up for that franchisor?
We have recommended them to use Samsara. That's what we use for our own locations.
Yeah.
That's what we recommended for them to use, ELDs. We don't really get into that little, like, it might happen later as we start really going into the details. We might look into trucks and stuff. But with the call center, all we do is we just know how many trucks they have, and we create their availability. Like, we know if you're doing a 1-bedroom job, we'll put another 1-bedroom job. If you got a 3-bedroom, we know you're already full on that day. So we already know how many trucks you have, and that's how we schedule for them. We don't really need to kind of like follow their trucks and see where they are or what they're doing. We don't really need that information right now, maybe in the future. But as of right now, we know that their availability, and we just try to maximize that availability for them.
Okay. I'm going to flip the script. What you must have had multiple milestones, right, in your lives. Aside from getting married, there was some milestones in the moving world that you must have had as you grew. Where would you say your first milestone was, where you're like, yes, like fist up in the air, I fucking did it, I've made it, I'm cashing in, I'm making some money. Where were you at in that situation in your life?
Well, number one, I'm engaged. I'm not married yet.
Engaged, sorry. Sorry.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen this July or so. This July or August.
All right.
My first milestone, I think, was when I figured out that the follow-up process works. That was the absolute biggest milestone of mine, because that's when I went from 2 to 3 trucks to like 7, 8 trucks, then 15 trucks. And we just kept making the follow-up process better and better and better. And that's the biggest thing that I would absolutely write on, is that when we started to understand that there should be a sales concept when dealing with these leads, and you can't just call and say, hey, 2 guys in a truck, $149 an hour. Are you interested? No, have a great day. And there needs to be, systematized way of managing these leads and putting the right people to manage them, and having the right managers to ensure that these leads are getting the management they need, and they're not, skipping processes. And then we even introduced quality assurance to make sure that none of the follow-up processes are missed or skipped. So I would say the number one thing, the biggest milestone, was definitely having a sales concept in our business, which transformed everything for me.
And did you see yourself going, okay, great, now I'm starting to make bank?
Yeah,
because the leads were coming in and everything else. What was the first thing you bought? Like when you started making money? Come on.
I bought a Lamborghini.
You bought a Lamborghini? I love it. I was waiting for you to be like, so I got like this sick Rolex, or I bought this house or something like that. It's like, no, I bought a Lamborghini. I love it. Oh man, that's great. And you still have it?
No, I have a more comfortable car now. I hated it, to be honest with you, and I'm never getting any of those cars ever again. Seriously.
Oh, jeez. Did you find, growing up, one of the things I was always told was, don't try and show up as the owner in a flashy car, because then everybody thinks that you're just making too much money and everybody wants to raise. Did you find that you rolled into the office?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Sometimes even to the customer's house. I showed up to the customer's house. He was like, I see where my money is going.
Oh, jeez.
And absolutely the same thing in the office, a lot of times I don't know any of the movers that work in our main office, and that's where I live. So every time I do drop by, they're just like, nice car. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And it's fine. I love it. Thanks for the answer. If I was, somebody that was looking to try and grow, I'm at a larger standpoint. So we got 10 or 12 trucks, and I don't want to repeat a lot of the same stuff, but did you ever look into having more virtual assistants? Now that concept has been around for a couple of years, and would you expand that out than having one central call center?
We use a lot of VAs for a lot of admin work,
Okay.
but I am absolutely in love with having my people there in person. We have about 30 agents. We have four managers that are in person there as well. We also have four QAs, but only two of them are in person and two of them are in Philippines, which they do the back end admin work, making sure no steps are missed, and they listen to calls and they provide details like call time and call quantity and so on and so on. So we use a lot of VAs, but in terms of call center, I would keep them all in person, keep them motivated daily. When these guys come in the office, they don't just go sit behind the computer. We have four shifts: 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12, and 3 p.m. Every time, let's say 3 to 4 agents or 5 to 6 agents that walk in, let's say 8 in the morning. When we go there are about 10 to 12 people already there. Two managers are already there. And initially, we do a morning huddle. 8 a.m. morning huddle. We talk about yesterday. We talk about motivation. We talk about what we're going to do today. We do some role playing and we face objections. We use rebuttals and we sharpen the knives of these agents. Right? So now imagine somebody just wakes up out of bed, drinks coffee, and goes behind the phone. These are the things that I want to stay away from. And we are in the States, we are in Montreal, we are in Canada, we're in places that require French, Spanish, and English. So a lot of our agents speak French, a lot of them speak Spanish. But the way we schedule everybody, we make sure that there are all three languages are available from the moment we start until the moment we finish, with agents and managers, to make sure that we're always, during those hours, we are providing trilingual sales service in our call center. So I really love my sales, and it's like the number one reason why we're successful. So I would always keep it the way it is, and I would just improve it more and more and never spread it thin elsewhere, to be honest. But we do use a lot of VAs for a lot of admin work.
Now, I remember a conversation that we had together, and it was interesting because I'm the type of person that's always going, man, if I want to do it, I just want to kind of get it done myself. But at the same time, too, you struggle because you're that entrepreneurship mentality. You think you know everything, but really, you're either the brains, or you're the operations. Like we all know those books that you read. But something that you said to me was, if I don't know it, I get someone like else to do it. Like, can you expand on that? I love that concept because it just made me go, man, you are such a good delegator.
Thank you. I think this all comes back to the one concept that I really live by, and me and you and all the entrepreneurs, we have to build an image. We have to build build a puzzle, and we have to be the visionary. We always have to be in a place where we can see the big picture, and it is important for us to never be a piece of the puzzle, or else everything else is gone. There's no visionary, there's no brains, there's nobody seeing the bigger picture. So I always say, build a beautiful puzzle, but don't be a piece of the puzzle, because you'll just be stuck inside the business and the business will not grow. So I've got lots of smart people that don't need training guidelines, that are just pure researchers, pure doers, that are just so intelligent that, sometimes you find yourself, you say 200 words to somebody, but they only understood two of those words.
Sure.
And they go out there and completely give the wrong task to somebody else or do it wrong themselves. But I've got guys that I'll tell them 2 words and they know 200 words of my meaning. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've been able to put the right people that are very smart, that have those kinds of mindset where they can find the answers by simply just me saying a couple of words, and they come back with full details and to just make my life easier. So I say you just need a couple of really good and smart people who are able to research, who are able to come up with answers, and then make them a project manager, and then put many people under them. That's really been one of the biggest success for us, for our franchise support team.
And who was your first? Sorry to cut you off. Who was your first big hire then? Like as you grew and you're getting those smart people in place, who was one of the first people you're like, okay, I need to hire X. Who was that?
There are about 4 or 5 of them right now. One of them being Nick. He's a phenomenal guy. He's the guy who ran Toronto 30 plus trucks, and he became a perfect operations manager. Just really high level minded guy. So now he is responsible for training and onboarding all of our franchisees. So we grew together to that level now. Then the other person would be Caden, who helped me open up multiple locations like Edmonton. I have actually never set foot in Edmonton. We're doing 150 moves a month in that place each month. So he's definitely one of them. Then I've got Kelvin, who's my main operations support. He is the one who, I'll say 2 words to, and he'll find the end of the world for me. So I realized that this guy is very capable, very smart. So I put 5 agents under him, and he just projects manage them. So we tell him, all right, make sure this is done. We'll tell him like 20 things in the morning, and he'll distribute them between the 5 agents that he has so whoever is best at what they do, and he'll delegate to them, and he'll come back with all their tasks to me. So it's like a big machine that of just delegating, and then we get back the final results.
Right. I think that's amazing. That's a great setup, and I appreciate you answering that. I always think that there comes a time, when you get a situation. I always go, oh, okay, well, Tiam's younger than me. He's better looking than me. You're way better looking than me. I got no hair. Don't worry about it. But you get to a situation where, not so much animosity, but for business owners that might be later in life, right? Sometimes guys can't just start a moving company in their early 20s. They even think about moving, maybe, right? Or now they're in their late 40s or 50s, and they're like, okay, like I have this opportunity to buy this small moving company, and I want to get started. You are growing in a situation that you've really, to me, have set yourself up. But I also think that you maybe only sleep like 2 hours a day because you're nonstop working. And when I talk to your better half, she agrees with me, and she's like, he does never, like, he just works and works and works. So you got no kids, but where do you think those objectives might change? As you're going to get married next year, you're going to probably want to start having kids and everything. Do you think your objectives of how you want to be running your company will change? Like, that's question 1. Question 2 is, do you also look to invest in other areas to set your family up for success? Like, if the moving one day fails and that's it, are you also looking at other avenues? So objectives going to change with your kids and other avenues.
Absolutely. I think that reality just sets when things happen. When you have a kid, I hear from all my friends and people I talk to that having a kid is the best thing that's ever happened to them, and you realize you're not living for yourself anymore. And that's probably what I feel now. It's just like there's nobody in front of me, nothing to stop me, nothing to slow me down. So when I wake up, it's go time, right?
Sure.
But I know that there is a much better way of living, which is, grow a family, and everything that I do now is just for the future of my future kids and my future family, so that they have a better life. So I always go with that mentality, because I look at myself as a family man, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm always trying to grow with Sonia, my fiance, and we want to create a very healthy and big family. So this is definitely a goal of ours. And I know that when that does happen, I will need to slow down, and I will need to put in the time for them and care for them. Because you see Louis Massaro, how he talks about his kids, you like running after them, happy all the time. So that feeling is gonna come, and we're gonna slow down and care about the right things. So that's definitely possible. And right now, I'm trying to live a more balanced life. I wake up, my phone is on Do Not Disturb, literally, because I just do not want to hear from anybody. I've got the right people who you can call, and they'll deal with it. So I try to wake up, and the first thing I do is immediately go to the gym. I spend an hour or so there. I love the steam room, and I do the cold showers every single day. This is at least 5 times a week. Saturday and Sunday, I don't go to the gym. I hang out and I eat cheap meals all day. But those 5 days, I'm pretty hardcore about it, and I make sure that I set myself up the right way for my day so that I'm not stressed. I'm not taking out, any past issues with me to my day. And I always try to go everything with a clear head. So yeah, as much as I don't sleep, but I am trying to live the right way and care about my health, because that's number one. And if I want to be the best leader and the best person in my company and motivate people, I need to be my best self. And I think that's a selfless thing to do, to take care of myself for the better of my people around me. And with regards to investments, yes, I love real estate. I've got a property and a bunch of properties in Canada. I even got one in Dubai. That's really one of my favorite ones. It's going to be ready in 2025, so I'm really excited for that one. And
Perfect. I'll set my calendar invite, and we'll do a trip out there.
Please come. It's a huge place. We'll have lots of fun. I love Dubai, so that's definitely a place that in the future I might want to spend about 5 to 6 months of my life in. But that's it. Just real estate. And honestly, recently I have gotten into other moving aspects. So I'm trying to vertically grow within the industry. I bought into this business called Moved In. It's similar to, I guess, Moving Waldo. It's a platform where we have a bunch of other moving companies there, and we try to book jobs for them, and we collect about 15% from that. So I've got 2 partners in that. I'm just kind of like an investor, and I'm a silent partner. And then I also recently joined these lovely group of guys, Wade, Chad, and John, with the Moving Titan training program.
Okay.
You heard of that, right?
I have, yeah.
So I've got a small portion of that business as well, and I'm trying to help them grow it and be part of it. So I think most likely I'm probably going to be a godfather of moving or something in the future, but that's the path. Everything has been all about moving, vertically growing in the moving industry, but at the same time doing some real estate investments as well.
Yeah, it's great. And I think to diversify yourself is really important as well too, right? So because you've allowed yourself to not just be stuck in one area of business, but you've allowed yourself to grow and have different opportunities, which is amazing. And it's good. If you're seeing those opportunities, jump at them, right? And I think for anybody, don't stop yourself just because you're hitting one milestone. It's trying to expand yourself into the multiple different areas that are out there. Keep your eyes and ears open all the time for new opportunities. So that's great. Hey, I really appreciate having on today. I don't want to take more of your time up. I know you're such a busy guy, and it's always a pleasure trying to catch up. Anytime you're in Vancouver,
you too, Mark. You too. Buddy. You too. You're a great guy. We click all the time, and we connected right away. Right. I didn't even know you were from Canada, but I loved it when I heard. So you're one of my favorite guys out there. When I come to those seminars, I'm always excited to see you, and you're so genuine, so kind. I love your smile, so it's always a pleasure to see you. And seriously, I mean that. You're a good friend. So thanks,
buddy. Thank you. Hey, guys, if everybody that's listening today, check out Let's Get Moving. You can always hit up Tiam if he's available. Tiam, I don't throw out his phone number, but he is always open for discussion. Anytime I've ran into him, and if it's not me talking to him, he is always trying to enlighten and educate young moving entrepreneurs. So, whenever you see him, try and not just get a signature, but have an engaging conversation with him, because that signature is going to be worth money down the line. But check it out. Let's Get Moving. These guys are going to rule North America, and pretty soon I'm going to see them when I head into Tokyo, and it'll be like a Let's Get Moving sign up there, and I'll be like, what just happened here? These guys nationwide, all around the world. I'm your host, Mark Hershey from Movified. Thank you so much, Tiam, for joining us today. And tune in to everybody. Check us out. LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. We will be all over the place. Have a great day.
Beautiful.